Okay. All right. The DJ thing. Let me just explain myself. Who went to dance on New Year's Eve? Daniel. Yes. This man is an amazing dancer, by the way. Short up. There's a ring of fire around him. So yes, over there, awesome. Well, I went to, and I always love to stand up there and watch Greg Ayres work because I don't understand anything he's doing. His hands are all over the place, and it's just amazing to me. He's always on beat. He's over here, he's over here. He sticks his foot up, he starts doing things with his foot. He's incredible. And he let me, he let me touch a knob. He let me, like, he guided me, and I, like, turned the knob, and I was like, and I made a beat. You guys, I made a beat. I made a beat all by myself. So I was like, wow, I can do that. So, you know, minutes go on, and we're dancing, and it's awesome, and we're all partying. And I'm like, and I see Greg doing these two specific buttons, and he's like, and I'm like, oh, I've been studying him for at least 7 seconds. I can do this. 7 seconds is a long time.
For you.
Sure. So I was like, I chose my moment, and I was like, I'm gonna do it. And I pushed the button, and everything was like, woo!
Just killed all the sound.
And there was like a collective gasp, and Greg's head turned so quickly, I thought he was like exorcist and mad and going to kill me. It was like, whoosh, and he went, and he hit a button, and there was like fire, and then everything came back on because he's a wizard. But the story that I like to tell is I'm now a DJ, and Greg Ayres taught me. The end. He trained me. Yeah, I know. Okay. So welcome to anime voice acting versus gaming voice acting. How are you guys doing? Yay! Okay. So, this panel is exactly what you think it is, but I'm going to start it off a little bit differently because I've always wanted to do this. So you guys are kind of like guinea pigs right now. What I'm going to do to my amazingly talented colleagues up here is
I haven't eaten today, so
yeah.
This is the first food I've been able to get all day.
Chris needs to eat because when he doesn't, he turns into a freaking wildebeest. And then he can't DJ at all, and it's terrible. Well, whatever. We're going to have to share this. So, okay, so I'm going to give some sides. Do you guys know what sides are? I always forget, like, that's a big industry term. Sides, it's like, a side is like, so you have a script, right? And they're big and long and all that. A side is sort of like pulled out pieces of a character from the script, but they kind of all thrown together to make like an audition piece. So if you're reading for a particular, what you audition with? You're reading for a particular character, but you know, the character, maybe a scene is like you and another character, you and another character. Well, they'll just pull out your lines and put them in one script, and we call that a side, S-I-D-E. These are kind of like sides, and so but what I'm going to do is I'm not going to give them any time to prepare, because I want you guys to see masterful cold reading. Masterful cold reading.
You know me well.
Great, I do. Because a lot of the time you don't really have a lot of time to prepare. Now, it's a little bit different now. So back in the day, when I started in 1995, I really didn't have time to prepare. You went to an audition, you didn't get the sides ahead of time, you didn't get the script. Anime was nowhere in the mainstream, so you didn't know what anything was anyway. It was some like obscure title that was being dubbed by ADV. But now, a lot of auditions are held, online. I've auditioned for Chris before via email. And so if I'm given my audition slides like on a Monday and Chris needs it turned around by Thursday, I have 3 or 4 days to prepare. So my cold reading isn't going to be so cold.
A lot nicer now.
It is a lot
nicer. From now.
Okay, so, Greg, all right, he's on here. Kyle, you are going to read for a character called Mukoro. Okay. I have put it in pink. You're not allowed to look at it yet.
Okay.
Okay. Chris, you are going to read for the character Caliban. Okay. I put a convenient C right there for you. You're welcome. You're not allowed to look at it just yet. Now, Greg Ayres is not here, unfortunately, so I do need one male volunteer. Well, I saw your hand first. And we'll give you a microphone. Hello, sweetheart. We are honored to have you up here. I don't know about that. You're going to read for Sean. Yeah, you're getting the same treatment as my people up here. Okay, so I am going to give them 30 seconds to look over the small character description and the side that they have to roll. It's really tiny, it's right
That's
there.
fine, that's all I need.
That's all everyone up here gets. So can someone conveniently have a watch out for me and tell me when the 30 seconds starts? Do you know who you are? Okay. So tell us when to go. Time is a fickle thing. Go! I'm just they are studying. That's really obnoxious. You good?
I'm done.
We'll give our newcomer a little bit. Give him
Yep.
30.
You want to do 30?
Oh, no,
Four,
don't worry, I'm done.
3, 2, 1. Kyle!
Oh,
Wow!
that really was a
That was
timer.
a
Thank
timer.
you.
Kyle, when you're ready, can you please go first?
Nakoro, what I want to kill you all. I am here to slaughter and slay. None of your warriors can touch me as I'm already dead. After I tear them all down, you'll be forced to carve my name into your warrior stone.
Woo!
Yeah!
Okay, now what I want to do is read you guys the character description to see how well Kyle held to the character. So Mukoro comes from the same village as Eiji. We don't know who Eiji is, we don't care right now. And he's the one that betrayed them all. Eiji had killed Mukoro, but the mercenary had a way to bring himself back from the dead. His evil mind is even more warped, and he thrives on destruction and murder. So how do you think Kyle did? All right, so now next up we have Chris reading for Caliban.
The name is, if you know Shakespeare, the name is very different from the character. Yeah. When you said that, I went, oh, I got this. And I read it and went, oh, shit. Okay. Let me know when you're ready.
Whenever you're ready, please start.
I'm Calvello. I'm one of the 8 demons, and I'm delighted to take part in this ancient tradition. I look forward to facing off against so many fine warriors. Maybe I'll win. But I'd imagine that's simply a matter of skill.
So he had a little bit of a stage direction there, which was damn cool. Do you think it's damn cool?
I don't know about that.
So Caliban is part of an elite cadre of assassins known as the 8 Demons. He knows how good he is and he doesn't need to boast about it. He honestly finds this whole tournament beneath him, and so he's more amused by the situation than concerned about his chances. Did that come through? Yes. Right? Yeah? Okay. And honey, what is your name?
What's your name?
You forgot your name? Okay, well give us the name.
Alan.
Steve.
Steve
So
Allen.
Steve Allen. Allen. Steve. Okay, Steve Allen. So when you are ready, yeah, we are having you read for the character of Sean.
Good, you read it, yeah.
Yeah, so
Memorize it.
you're gonna want to read this part right here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hello, I'm Sean Woodhill, better known as the Shadow Strider. It's been a dream of mine, my good friend Taka here, to partake in this legendary tournament. We weren't even sure if the legends were true when we started out, but here we are now. Now, my friend Taka's going to tell you a little bit about himself.
Hey!
Very nice, good job.
So the stage direction there, kind of smug. I think Steve Allen was kind of smug.
I think Steve Allen was kind of smug. It sounded good.
It did. Sean is a young, cocky teenager who is able to roll with the punches. He's good-natured and a little headstrong. Good job.
Good, nice job.
Yeah.
Very
Oh,
nice.
wait, you guys were asking me about my name personally.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, my...
How you get the character name? Where's your name?
Jordan.
Jordan!
I may still call you Steve Allen too.
Okay, so cool readings. My 2 people up here, they have been What?
Which is that?
No, yes, yeah,
Okay.
this is all. So, cold readings are really, really hard. And the way to be really effective at them is to have been doing it for years and years and years. Your voice actors, we don't just, it's not about the voice. It's not about voice acting. It's about acting.
What is acting?
Yes. We are all improvers and comedians and musicians and singers and dancers and choreographers and directors and all of that. And we've been doing it for years. So the way, giving them all, and Steve Allen, you did a great job. I'm not going to remember your name now. You did a great job. It's Jordan. It's not easy. It's not easy to, go off the stage direction, which is kind of smug, and have just a sentence explaining what you're supposed to do. I don't even actually know what this is called. A friend of mine who was writing it let me borrow it. So I don't even have information on really what we're reading, but it's pretty good, right?
I'm not even sure what game it's for. And probably when it becomes a game, it'll all be changed anyway.
It will be. Or it might even be an anime. I'm really not sure. But my point is that, you can hear like the seasoned actors really making a choice about the character and then committing to and staying with it. And Jordan, you did that too, and that was really, really good.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, thank you for being up here. Thanks, Jordan, and that would be all.
Can I give another
Does
tip?
that mean I have to leave?
Yeah, I did back down. For a minute. I'm going to give a tip. I teach a lot of acting classes and stuff like that. And one of the things, who here has done any acting? Okay, now, hang on. Be honest now. How many of you love with all of your heart cold reading? Where they just hand you a script and you just read? Okay, I'm going to say about half of you are probably liars. Because most actors I know hate cold reading. Because it's not easy. There is a disconnect that very often happens between your mouth and your brain, where you read it, and it does not come out of your mouth the way you want it to. Who here who's done cold reading has experienced that? Okay, here's the trick I give my students. Read out loud, 10 to 15 minutes a night, every night. Pick different things, pick scripts, pick novels, pick the newspaper, pick whatever. Get used to seeing something with your eyes and having it come out of your mouth the same way you hear it in your head. And the only way to do that is to practice that, is to do that over and over and over. And so I say 10 to 15 minutes every night, and you'd be amazed. When I work with students, and I go in for a cold read, I can tell the ones that have done it, and I can tell the ones that haven't. It shows 100%. So that's...
And so if you don't have a lot of time to prepare, what I do when I'm faced with like, Jessica, read this in 1 minute. Oh God. I will skim it. I won't even really read it the whole, because I don't have time. What I will do is I will try to pull out as many adjectives as I can. So if I'm looking at this character AG, which no one read, I'm skimming it and I see fallen village, people betrayed, clan survived, honor traditions. I've already got somewhat of a character in my brain. That's really all I had time to read. Once I pull enough adjectives to give myself imagery of this kind of person that I'm reading for, then I try to find the voice and then I go for it and I just act. I'm not even really try to find the voice just comes out when you pick a character.
Yeah.
So, but that's a really good trick too, is try to just look at the description, watch what this person's saying. And sometimes, these are just little sentences up here, but sometimes you got a whole paragraph to read.
A whole page, yeah.
And if you're lucky to always have a highlighter and a pen or a pencil on hand, we don't even really do scripts anymore. Back in the day, they would give us these scripts and we would highlight and I would try to accent and I would just put little notes all over it and then I would go in and I would do what I can.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I mean, you get a lot of email type auditions nowadays, and a skill that is not considered but should be as important as improv or anything else is self-direction. Because you're on your own, you sit there and you say to yourself, okay, well, let's do tomorrow, so I've got at least a day to sit here and finagle the perfect take. Well, you don't want to get spoiled by that because you're not going to have that kind of time every audition.
No.
So you need to play it as if you would have that, okay, pressure's on, I got to go in that booth and get directed. And you have to extrapolate on your own, without any guidance, what the context is and everything. And we're given bullet points, that's what I usually call this, where it's a paragraph or less about your character. Sometimes we get audition sides that have way too much information, in my opinion. Stuff that doesn't have any bearing on other than if you're a fan wanting to know what the story is. It's like, well, how does it fit into what my character's doing?
Yeah.
The bare essentials when it comes down to that. So you have to sit there and try and interpret what the writer's intent is and hope that it is matching what the producers or casting people are looking for.
and sometimes you're totally off.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how many auditions I've turned in where, I did a great job. I know I did a great job. The acting was there, the intent, the choices I made, I was committed. I just wasn't the right voice. No, director
That happens
just
a
hasn't.
lot.
It happens. You audition way more than you book.
Yeah.
You do.
Way more.
Yeah. So
Treat the audition as the job, though.
Yeah.
always.
Like, what do you do for a living? I audition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the truth.
Exactly.
Well, here's the thing. I had a mentor of mine tell me this one time. If you go in treating the audition like the job, then you've done your job. If you book anything extra, that's just dessert.
Yeah.
That's extra.
Right.
Your job is to go in and kick butt at that audition.
Sure.
And the only person who can decide whether you've done well at that audition is you.
Right.
And you gotta be honest, because I've gone into auditions and gone, wow, that was awful. And I walked out going, never gonna book it. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't, even when you think it's awful.
Yeah, and we were just talking about that. We both had experiences where it was a game that I still can't talk about, but I read for like 6 different female parts, and I specifically didn't read for one because I was like, well, that's just totally not anywhere near what I'm going to be cast as. Sure enough, I get a call, and the director's like, you're not right for any of the 6 you read for. I want you to read for this one. I'm like, the one that I didn't turn in? He's like, yeah. He's like, I really think that you'd be right for that. And I read for it, and the Japanese loved it, and I booked it. And it made no sense to me, but you don't really know. And there's something that I wanted to build upon that Kyle said, like self-direction. What I'll do sometimes, though, I did this for Attack on Titan. Like I read and I spent a lot of time on my audition pieces, and then I sent them to my friend Brett. Brett actually plays Gunther in Attack on Titan. He's a good friend of mine. And I said, I've self-directed. I've worked on this for hours, but I really need some pointers. He had some great direction. And then I redid them. So I mean, sometimes you don't have time to send them around to people. You just don't have time. But if you do, it's always good to have someone
Second
listening.
ear.
And giving their opinion on because they're going to hear things that you can't. So.
Yeah, sometimes you're under restrictions of only send one take.
Yeah.
It's like, if I can only send one that matches the specs is the industry term for, well, he's 24 and calm and the type of character. And then maybe an alternate take where you just come up with something yourself. And maybe because you thought outside of the box, maybe the casting people go, wow, that's not what I originally had in mind, but let's cast them because they brought something new to the role instead of just reading exactly what
Sometimes the specs and stuff they give you are not what they want.
Right.
That when I did Last Remnant, they gave me a picture of the character. They said, this is the voice we want. And the guy was like 70. So I went in there and said, no, make him younger. So what I ended up with is right here. That doesn't sound 70. When the animation came out, he looked like he was mid to late 40s. I was like, oh, that's not 70. And the voice matched perfectly, but I would not have known from the image they gave me that said, this is what we want you to base the voice on. Oh, okay. So you never know.
It's bizarre. So, you guys want to do some cool greetings with us? Yeah? Okay. Let's give another hand for Jordan Steve Allen. You did a great job. It's really, really hard. No, you're welcome. It's really, really hard to do this. You were awesome. You're also a little sassafras, aren't you? It's so funny. Hey. All right, so we're gonna do. I need a lady. A lady. Yes. Short hair, short dark hair. Yes. I remember you. Come on up. What's your name? Steph. That's right, Steph.
Yep.
Steph and.
Do video?
Can we do that?
I don't know, whatever you want to do. I just saw what you were grabbing.
I'm grabbing.
Whatever.
Should video game first or just animate?
Whatever, I'm fine.
All right, we're gonna do video game. You're going to be reading for the character of Allie, and I am going to give you some time to look it over. There's a picture and a brief character description, and this is actually really hard. Like, I'm not kidding you. I'm not just saying this.
Yeah,
like,
this is a tough side. This is a
I'm
really
giving
tough side.
you a tough one, and
Oh,
I'm
no, she
also.
doesn't get 30 seconds. We're fine now.
Yeah, we're good. And
30 seconds
also,
for being Kyle.
here's another confusing thing with these scripts. So they'll give you these stage directions, and they're in brackets. And sometimes they're before the line, and it'll say like angry, and then you are to read that line angry. And then sometimes it's weird, and they'll do it after the line. Like for example, I'm just going to read the first line out. The line is "Ain't this a party?" Now the brackets for the stage direction are after the line, and then the stage direction. The line direction is killing spree. So basically, Steph has to figure out a way to read "Ain't This a Party" as if she's going on a killing spree. Good luck, Steph. I need a boy. Blondie with the timer. Come on up. Do we have a chair for you?
No, we don't. We don't have a place to sit like this. Yeah, just over there.
Alright. What is your name, Blondie? Clark and Steph. Clark, you're reading for a Rico. I don't really know that's the way to say it, I just said it. Clark. So just take a little bit, and then Kyle and you just look it over just to know what the direction.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
Yeah. So we'll give them a little bit of time to look it over. So this panel is, gaming versus voice acting. And I know I went a little bit off topic, but I always like to go over just the pain of cold readings and what it hears like, what it sounds like for people who've been doing it forever and how effortless they make it seem. And it's not. It's really, really hard. So there are distinctive differences between anime voice acting and gaming voice acting. I've only done a few games as opposed to these gentlemen that have done tons of games. And my games have been fighting games. So I'm used to the
I do a lot of fighting too. I do a lot of fighting games.
Right. So there's that. And that's in anime too, especially if you're doing like a fighting, like Attack on Titan. There's a lot of fighting titans. But sometimes with games, you are just grunting and screaming, and it's very painful for hours. So that is definitely a difference between doing that and something like, I did the movie Fairy Tale. I played Claire in the Fairy Tale movie, and she spoke like this the whole time. She was very sad, and her family had been slaughtered. And there was no fighting in that, and so I wouldn't say that's easier because that's very sad, but it definitely wasn't the whole time. And then there's differences. Yeah. So, Steph, are you ready to give us
No question for you on this.
Yeah.
Are we going to let him do the whole thing and then go back line by line and tweak, or do you want to?
That's what I think
tweak
we
his
should
Okay,
do.
that's cool. That's what I wanted to know.
So
That's
they'll
fine.
read the whole thing.
They'll do the whole side.
Yeah.
Ain't this a party? Target acquired. Send the inferno. Let it rain. Fall back now. First rule of battle, kids. Don't let them know your position. First blood. That ought to teach them. Patch me up. Thanks.
Now,
There's more.
this
there is?
well,
The attack reel.
Yeah, we probably should explain that.
Yeah.
So gaming auditions, you'll have they'll want to hear how you fight. How well do you fight? Give me some fighting sounds. So Stephanie is going to be giving us these fighting sounds. So we can do this one by one. Steph, give us an attack grunt. I need a short attack, long attack, jumping, pain grunt, knocked out.
First, just to cue the audience in on what are the specs. Remember I mentioned what this character is?
Okay.
Character's name is Allie, American, age 30, military, serious but never condescending, always willing to teach and share knowledge. Inspiration is the character of Zoe from Firefly. Now sometimes audition sites do have references or YouTube links even to things that you don't know about.
Yeah.
And if they don't, then your guess is, just Google it.
As anybody's.
Just look for it's like, I never watched Firefly. Well, Google and you'll probably find a clip to see what sort of vocal reference they're referring to. But yeah, that was right in so she's very even keel, she's calm and control. You can tell she's done this before, it's no big deal. That was a really, really nice sound about that. I think when you get to line 3, which is fall back now, calling for retreat, this is a big deal when you're screaming in games. Don't fake scream. Don't hold back. You gotta let it out like, fall back now! Full volume. They'll adjust the mic control so it doesn't peg or distort or anything. So you gotta show no fear of that. Everything else was really, really
it was very, very close.
solid.
It was pretty good.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I was going to say a little more. The one advice I would give you, in all honesty, is stand up. It's hard to record a lot of action type things when you're sitting. Unless you've got a music background and you're knowing to sit up and keep everything so that you're breathing properly, I will not record sitting down. Every now and again, if I've got a character that doesn't, and I will stand up. The last session for Dragon Ball ZF was 6 hours of me screaming at the top of my lungs. I stood the entire time, even with a bad back, because I have much more. I find actors, and I don't let, like my new actors, I don't let them sit. They have to stand when they record with me because you have a better use of your instrument when you do. That's one tip I would give you. And like Kyle said, calling out for the retreat is a big deal. Don't worry about getting too loud. We will pull you back if we need it.
And I just wanted to say, like, you really want to look for different levels because so like Kyle's reading specs and she's military, serious but never condescending. But one of the most important things that I listen for and that I always try to do is bring levels to it.
Yeah.
So what I would say from your read is that I absolutely hear the confidence and I hear the military coming out and I hear that you can fight. But I wanted to hear more of a difference between some of your lines.
Yeah.
So, target acquired, cold, this is supposed to be read cold, militaristic. Target acquired, send the inferno, let it rain, and then fall back now. So just give those different, make each line, and that's really hard, but make each line a little bit different. Maybe one can be read even speeded up.
Yeah.
Maybe one can be slowed down. Pick words that you really accent. That ought to teach them, there's those kinds of things to really just make a little bit of difference. So your read isn't just all the same.
Yeah, and I can also throw in that now it's not scripted to throw in any efforts on the line patch me up, but it does say calling out need healing.
Yeah.
You can infer that your character has been wounded.
Yeah.
You can throw that into the read like patch me up.
Yeah.
Some sort of gritted teeth sort of thing to help add the authenticity.
Perfect.
Yeah. And the other thing is, if like in line with what Jessica was saying, if your reads are too similar in tone, it's going to sound like all one line. They've given you 6 or 7 lines.
Even if you're acting well.
Even if you're acting well, it still could sound like one line.
Right.
So you need to be careful that you have that variety so that they know between each take. Yeah, let's try it again.
Steph, let's try. So all that direction.
This time stand up.
This time be perfect. I'm no pressure, Steph. Here's the microphone, my love.
Somebody give me a mic monkey and hold it for.
Oh yeah, can we do that?
Somebody hold the mic for us, that way she doesn't have to worry about that. Thank you. I call them mic monkeys. Okay, whenever you're ready.
Are you comfortable?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Like this a party. Target acquired. Send the inferno. Let it rain. Fall back now! First rule of battle, kids. Don't let them know your position. First blood. That ought to teach them. Patch me up! Thanks.
Attack grunt.
Huh.
Short.
Yeah!
Okay.
Hey! Ooh!
Well, that's great.
Nice. I heard a marked improvement between the first read and this read.
I did too, and that's another sign. Like you have to be able to listen to direction
And take it and do it.
and do it. So awesome.
Very nice job. Very nice
Steph.
job. Okay.
Sup? Marco, packing time. Marco, where are you? Watch out. You gotta go immune, dude. Just, wow. Stand in our way. See what happens. Fine. We'll do it.
Okay, I'm going to stop you.
Yeah.
So this script is really confusing. I don't know why they did this on this one, but there's slashes, and it makes it look like you're not supposed to read the rest of it, but you are. And that's okay. How would you know that? And it's just weird. Well, if it were a choice, it would
Say alt.
Say
alternate.
alt. Yeah, but how would you know that?
Yeah.
And I didn't tell you, and that's my bad. I'm sorry. Can you just start over, or do we can just hear his attack runs and then give direction?
We'll do the attack runs, and then we'll do direction, then we'll come back and hit the lines.
So let's do this together. So give me an attack grunt,
Ah!
short attack, long attack,
Ah!
jumping, pain grunt, knocked out. Awesome.
Let me hear the short attack again.
Ah!
Let me hear the pain grunt. Okay, there was a difference.
Give me a jump. Give me more.
Ah!
That sounds like you got
That
hit.
sounded like an attack. Yeah, that sounded like you got hit.
You're jumping. Longer, make it longer. Good. That's good. Yay!
Oh, okay.
Yeah, read the
So,
character description.
just so you know, guys, this character's name is Rico. Early teens. He's a cocky kid who's into punk for the cool factor. Hispanic, if choosing to use an accent. Keep it extremely subtle or light. Accented and non-accented takes are both welcome. Inspiration is Rufio from Hook. So what I heard is, yeah, he's got some attitude and everything, but I would increase the swagger a little bit more. A little bit more. It was a little bit too calm. It's like, sup? Hey, Marco, pecking time. Things like, this guy, like, nothing phases him. He's like really into it and everything. With the dying, again, I would add some sort of effort to indicate that you're really struggling with, Marco, where are you? That sort of thing. And go ahead and remember to read all the lines on the second read through.
Yeah.
And they're short and sweet.
And a lot of times with these, in just looking at them, you can almost, they're not tied together, but you've got to mentally link them. It's not like Marco pecking time, scratch him up. That's not one thought.
Right.
Marco pecking time, scratch him up. It's got to be a continuation of the thought with a break in between it.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
You guys probably don't know, because it says nothing about his companion. He has a companion, a bird.
Obviously named Marco.
Right. And, named Marco. And so he's commanding Marco to scratch them up. So it's his companion.
Hang on just a second, I'll do this.
And also, don't be afraid, Clark. So, don't,
Hard to see, I know, but...
and this is kind of a weird direction, but, so you make your choices and you figure out how you're going to act it out, how you're going to do it. But also, don't be afraid to do something that might not sound right.
Yeah. Take a choice.
Yeah, the line teasing user sling to launch a rocket at your enemies, watch out! Ha ha! Duck! That was not great. But I'm saying, give something that's maybe completely and totally off, just to show something different. Because a lot of times in auditions, for me, I'm also wanting to show the director what I can do. If I only have one side that I'm reading and I can only do one take, or maybe I'm only doing 3 characters, I might take a little bit of risk with one of them and maybe go off some of my character choices just so that they can hear that I've got a kooky side or whatever. So don't be afraid to play with that too. It's the only shot you have, so do as much as you can with it. Yeah.
Have some fun with vowel sounds. How we couldn't tell the difference between an attack, grunt, and getting damage. Well, damage could be in your gut, so it doesn't sound like a ha, that sort of, just vary up the different sounds. I always tell people for fight sounds, you can always throw in different consonants, like a t, ka, sha, it's not always the stereotypical ha-ya, that sort of thing. Not that you did that, but just so you know, you have options of it.
Okay, let's try to give you another mic monkey again.
Yeah. So remember all that and be perfect. Okay.
You can do it again.
Go for it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Mic monkey in the house.
Sup? Marco, packing time. Scratch them up. Marco, where are you? Watch out. Duck. You gotta go mute, dude. Just, wow. Stand in our way, see what happens. Fine, we'll do it. Yeah. Let's go!
You can hit all those. Just try to make them all different.
Ha! Ah!
I would need some different. I need more of a variety.
Your attack grunt and your long attack sounded almost exactly the same.
And your jumping doesn't sound like you're jumping. We are really critical.
We're being very,
But I hope you're having fun. Oh my God, Clark, don't leave us.
I've got one more that's going to be even more fun.
Stay. You're having fun? Okay, good.
Okay, I've got one more, and this has happened to me countless times, and I know Kyle because we have talked about this. Okay, we're going to do your long attack again. This is, believe me, this has happened to me. Redo your long attack again. I need your long attack 3 seconds long. Hang on.
Oh God, I know what you're doing.
Hang on.
This is the worst.
Okay, hang on. Just 1 second.
Clark,
Where's my
you're in
timer?
for it. You're in for it.
Hang on.
Very good.
Okay.
Hang on. No, that's a timer. Stopwatch. I need a stopwatch. Okay, ready? Go. Okay, that was 2 seconds. I need 3 seconds. Let's reset it. We'll do it again for 3 seconds. Go. That was 1 second and 1.5 seconds. Give it to me again, 3 seconds. Go. Oh, that was 4 seconds. We need to do it again. Kyle?
This happens.
Kyle,
Yes.
am I lying?
No, this is totally right.
That is-
Torturous.
if you're doing a fighting game and they need a 3 second, scream, they need a 3 second scream. You do not have a stopwatch in the booth with you. You have to figure out a 3 second scream, and you will do it over and over and over until you get. I did that just because you were doing attacks right then, but I cannot tell you how maddening that can be.
And painful.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel good.
Yeah. So sorry, I knew you'd have fun with that one. So because you think like that first one, that first one you thought was 3 seconds. 2, then 1.5. Then you went longer. I was like, okay, this one's gonna be on. I was like, oh dang, you went over. You went over by a full second. That was actually very cool. Nice job.
Yeah, great job.
I thought about that when you said being nitpicky. I went, oh, I know nitpicky. I know nitpicky.
We are.
I enjoy the nitpick.
Yeah.
Good. All right, so now we're gonna do some cold readings from some anime. So I need a girl. Purple? Is there a purple? Yes. Come on up.
So,
And I need a boy. Yes. And next time you guys pick. I'm sorry.
okay. Well, I hate it.
Oh.
I'd much rather somebody else pick it. I just observe.
And I want the gentleman in the glasses with the white shirt to be our Mike Monkey, but not just yet. But yeah, in a minute I'm gonna come.
Well, I'm stand up when they read. Hang on, I'm gonna put this over here by you.
So, what is your name in here? I'm Madison. Madison. And who is that? Oh, Chris. Hi, that's Daniel. We all know Daniel from the Ring of Fire around his body when he was dancing last night. Oh my God. Are you going to dance tonight too?
Yeah, I am.
I'm still going to be there watching.
You should join me with that.
I might also push buttons I'm not supposed to. I actually may not live past the night if I touch Greg Ayres' equipment again.
Yeah, it's true. I'll give you one.
So how about some Nika stuff from Attack on Titan? Are you down for that? All right. And the cool thing about this side from Attack on Titan is there are some fighting sounds down here. So we'll do a little bit straight up acting, reading anime, and then we'll get some fight sounds in there. We can also fight sound on something already, some variety. So there's that. And for Daniel, how about some fairy tale? Yeah. All right. How about some Natsu?
See?
Good? All right. Do you cosplay as Natsu? You're a perfect Natsu. All right, there you go. What's the time?
4:12. I've got to go in just a few minutes because I've got my solo panel in a minute.
Are you using nearby?
It's right down, so I don't have to go as one, but I do have to go potty.
It's pie
I am bladder.
While we're looking over the scripts, we can go into some of the differences between video game voice acting. They usually will have us do a set of 3, like an A, B, and C take. And we're not seeing anything in context. Usually our script lines are extrapolated from the master script. So we're seeing our characters line for line in sequence, but responding to people, asking questions, and we have to depend on the director to tell us what the context is. What is my character doing at this moment? And there's different things. We do all the dialogue, talky stuff, whispery stuff first, and then the fight reactions last. Why? Because obviously it's you risk blowing your voice out. You don't want to do that. You don't want to do all the screamy, shouty, fighty stuff first, because then you'll sound like this. Hot tea and a lot of honey will help with that, and throat sprays like this Chinese cough syrup that you can search on Amazon. It works. It's really good. But yeah, the 3 takes things, and it's weird. You're kind of working in a vacuum. You might get to see an artist rendition of what your character looks like. Sometimes not. It's just the Excel spreadsheet of a script. Sometimes it's on an iPad. Sometimes it's just on the monitor. With anime, obviously, the finished product's on screen. So that's cool. There's an advantage to seeing it. The downside is the animation is what it is. You can't change the lip flaps. It's not like with parody and a bridge series where they just make it match whatever they say. We are locked into what the animation is. And that's what the old school scripts would be like, oh, this sounds so wooden. Why did you change the line? Well, it has to fit the flaps. That sort of thing.
Now, you often get complaints about performances sometimes with anime because of that, but we're not allowed to change anything. We can get in huge trouble if we do.
Ready to go? Mika-san, come up here. Thank you. Paul, the microphone for
Yes, sorry.
Tell me your name again, I forgot already. Madison. Madison, I love your purple wig. Thank you. You're welcome.
Close enough for us to hear. Hang on.
Testing. And spin. 1, 2, 3. Just remember the basics and you should be fine. No need to try any fancy maneuvers. Focus on your balance. Now distribute your weight evenly between the belts on your waist and your legs. Understand this, Aaron. Wherever you go, I go. I made a promise to your mom before she died. I'm not letting you die. I've got your back whether you like it or not. So just deal with it. Know this. I have the power to slay all of the titans that block our path. Even if I have to do it alone. You can just sit there and twiddle your thumbs and watch how it's done. If I can't beat them, then I die. But if I win, I live. And the only way to win is to fight. No. No! I'll kill you! Ah!
Good job.
Not bad. Okay, I thought there were 4, there were 5. Okay, that's okay. I didn't realize the no and the I kill you were. Okay, I was trying to listen for something very specific. As an ADR director for anime, I'll tell you, you have the classic thing that I hear from new people. And that is that you're going way too fast. Take your time. You got all the time in the world. You don't have to worry right now about lip flaps. You don't have to worry about any of that. Take your time. How many pauses were marked in the first line?
There's a dot, dot, dot.
The dot, 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 that's a marked pause. But with you can take a pause at a comma, or you can take a hesitation at a comma or a period. So that, just remember your basics and you should be fine. Doesn't need to, just remember your basics and you should be fine. No need to try any fancy maneuvers. Just remember your basics and you should be fine. No need for any fancy maneuvers. Okay, and that's the kind of thing I hear from new people all the time. You get somebody, and all of a sudden they want to do like this. And they're trying and they're so excited, they're trying to fly through it. Take your time, especially in an audition. When you're not having to match flaps, chew the scenery up.
Yeah.
Chew the scenery, man.
And we happen to know Mika Stuff. If you watch, we know her character a little bit. If you've seen the show or read the manga, she's strong and she's pretty cool.
Yeah, you get all that.
Right. So I need more conviction in the acting. I need, in the stage directions out to the side, like that first little stanza, helping Aaron get acquainted with his combat gear. You are always saving that boy's hiney, right? I mean, you're always helping him. You're always you're commanding in that first one. And she's confident, but she's quietly confident. I think Mika's is a really complicated character. So it's not just the typical, I'm confident, but it's like understated, but yet really strong and kind of terrifying, I think. So I would want to hear more conviction from your words.
Stronger.
On the right-hand side of these audition sites, just so you know, is the context of the line.
Yeah.
The one that I want to speak to is in the middle of combat. And when I see that phrase, and I hear her saying, know this, I have the power to slay all the titans that block our path. That doesn't sound like you're in the middle of battle.
No.
So I would heighten the volume, definitely, as if you're speaking to everybody. There's explosions going on and screaming and chaos. It's like, if I can't beat them, then I die. But if I win, I live. And the only way to win is to fight. You just got to have all conviction. It just builds, and all that sort of thing. Same thing with the no, and I'll kill you. I mean, this is total restrained rage.
Yeah, and the first no is like N and four little O's, and then dot dot dot, and then all caps N, and so it has to be like no, just balls out, and that's your chance to show that you can fight.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, most directors want to know. This is a tip that Matt Greenfield gave me. This is not the tip that I said I was going to share, but this is another tip. I had an actress working on an anime, veteran actress. I had not worked with her before. She was exactly right for what I needed. I needed a kind of bitchy pop star. But the show is a huge show, so I had her do some other small stuff. She's playing this character's mother that gets killed, gets ripped apart by sea demons.
Typical Tuesday.
And I said, okay, we don't see it happen. She goes, run, run. And then we hear a scream. So it's okay, I need you to scream. And this actress goes, ah. I said, okay, let's try that again. You're being ripped apart and gutted by demons. Right. Ah. Take 7. Okay, I need this just gut-wrenching, horrified scream. Right. And so I ended up I just re-recorded someone else in that role. It was only like 9 lines. And I was talking to Matt Greenfield about that, and Matt said, oh, and I now do this. If I've got somebody brand new in the booth, one of the things I almost always make them do is scream. Because if you can commit to screaming in horror or in anger, you can commit to that and make it believable in the booth, then you're going to be able to do almost anything we ask you to. So I find it is a good gauge of a person's ability to commit to something in anime is if they can just scream, if they can just let loose and let fly and just lose it.
And if they can do a believable cry and a believable laugh. Because
Yeah.
when a cry and a laugh are fake, it's awful.
There's a trick I use for laughs. So many people, okay, somebody who wants to do this skit, just raise a hand, I'll just pick somebody. Okay, you, right there, whose hand went up first, yeah. Stand up. No, you can stay right there.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay, laugh. Stay standing.
Stand up, sweetheart.
Stand up. Okay. What was the problem with it?
It wasn't real.
But here's the thing. Even if it's not a real laugh, there's a way to make it sound more real. What you did was you got a big breathful of air and then went, ha 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 ha. Get a breathful of air, blow half of it out, and then start laughing. Because we go to laugh, we don't take a big breath in right before we laugh. Usually we're in the middle of something and we start laughing. That air is already coming out. If I get a big breath, that's one of the things that makes it sound unnatural with new actors.
Yeah.
So that was just somebody saying they'll see me in my panel.
So I want to move on.
Yeah.
So you want to hit that again?
Yeah, hit it one more time.
All right, let's hear it. Oh, Mike Monkey.
Mike Monkey. Mike Monkey. Forward. Here we go. This time I'll walk the show. Let's see.
Just remember the basics. You should be fine. No need to try and dance maneuvers. Focus on your balance. Now distribute your weight evenly between the weight belts on your waist and your legs.
Let me try it. Let's try it one more time. I'm just going to do something. Okay, what you did was great. It was a lot better than the first one. Okay, now imagine that you're going to talk to him while you're reading it. Imagine you're trying to teach him who's never done how to ride a bike.
He kind of looks like Aaron too.
You know that kind of patience a mother or father has when they're trying to teach you how to do something?
Yeah.
And put the microphone a little closer. Yeah.
Just remember the basics. You should be fine. No need to try and dance maneuvers. Focus on your balance.
Now, what else?
Now, distribute your weight evenly between the belts on your waist and your legs.
Cool. Did you hear the difference in the two reads? It's very subtle, but it's there. It's really nice. Keep going.
Understand this, Aaron. Where you go, I go. I made a promise to your mom before she died.
Now,
I'm
okay,
not-
explaining your devotion. This is horrible. I made a promise to your mom before she died, and we all know how Aaron's mother died. Oh my God, it's munched in half by a titan in the first episode. You're explaining your devotion, okay?
How important he is to you?
This is a pledge. This is Mikasa right here.
Yeah.
Understand this, Aaron. Where you go, I go.
Stronger.
I made a promise to your mom before she died.
Tell him.
I'm not letting you die.
Good.
I've
Come on.
got your back, whether you like it or not. So just deal with it.
Good.
Excellent.
Good. Much better. Sydney Burger again. Go ahead. Yeah. Good.
Yeah. Okay. All right. We're running out of time.
Yeah.
So let's just get to your. I want to get to your battle cries.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
we'll. we'll go
But
on.
no, but you-
Yeah, so I want to hear, so the
last
no, scream line is distraught, and then the last scream line, the direction is scream line enraged. Those are two totally different scream lines, so
Yeah.
make them different.
Okay.
No. No!
I need more.
Yeah, a lot more.
No. No!
That's better.
Better?
I'll kill you!
Oh, come on, give me more than that.
I'll kill you!
Again.
And we're you!
Come on, come on.
I'll kill you! I'll kill you!
I'm going to work as a side coacher. And so I will sometimes do that with an actor. I'll make him say a line over and over again, and I'll be yelling and talking to him. And then we'll give him one. I'll go, okay, roll it back. Do it again. Just like that. And I tend to work as a side coacher a lot of times. Especially if I'm really trying to pull something out and it's not hitting. I'm a by whatever means necessary director.
I'm now scared of Madison.
Yeah, you scared the hell out of me, girl.
You did really well.
Yeah, really good job.
All right, let's jump in. We're running out of time. We're about to lose Chris.
Yeah.
No rush for you, though.
Okay, no rush, no rush.
You're fine. You're fine.
Hi, hello. How do you guys feel about this volume?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, sorry. I've got to run. I've got my panel. So I apologize.
All right. Everyone's walking out. I love you.
Love you too.
Okay.
Thank you guys, John. Thank you guys.
3. Okay, and we're gonna give Daniel our attention. He's reading Natsu from Fairy Tale.
Just know whenever.
Yes.
Real quick, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Since I've seen it kind of has a bias impersonation of his voice. Not like to the exact, but should I let that influence me?
That depends on what you think. So what I want you to do is you make a choice. If you want to try to mimic, you can. I'd rather you come up with your own character. It's kind of hard because we're picking a wicked, crazy, popular character with a crazy, popular show. But I really want to hear what you come up with.
Okay.
Okay? And there are no wrong choices, but that's just what I'd like to hear.
Oh, you don't have to worry about that. I've got a bone to pick with that jerk for messing with Fairy Tale. I'm gonna burn him to a crisp. I like your style. Out with the bang. You're definitely gonna fit in with Fairy Tale. That's our friend you got there, pal. So that means you're gonna have to make enough other plans for dinner. Yeah, can you please stop parachuting in front of me now? Yeah, I'd really like to get barf back, please. Burn, baby, burn! I'll blow you away! Fire dragon, roar!
All right, well,
That's a nice commitment. Now,
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with the show. I know of the show. I can't speak to whether that's an impression or not of the English dub actor for that, but I gotta say, that's a really, really good sounding, to read some of the specs, Natsu is generally good-natured, carefree, and reckless. Extremely skilled fighter, one of the strongest members of the Fairy Tale Guild. He sounded like that. You know, he's sworn absolute loyalty to this guild, and that comes across, absolutely. Yeah, he had a good amount of swagger and definitely volume. Energy is really, really strong. I like you kind of improvising just a little bit about the sickness, like, oh, ready, little barf back, please, you know. Because that's the thing, you think, oh, you're going to audition for anime, and no, there's no lip sync involved and all that. That can be a little overwhelming for new people at first, so it's purely just acting ability and just hearing you audio-wise and all that. So just so you guys know, burn, baby, burn. Is it now? You've seen the show. Is that something where he's smiling as he's doing it? Because he did with a smile, as if he's like, "Burn, baby, burn." You know?
Because he's he loves fighting, and so I feel like whenever he's about to attack, he's just loving it, especially with the bad guy I have in my
Right, yeah, and then to sum it up with the call out of attacks, the fire dragon roar, I'll blow you away. Yeah. I believe I wouldn't want to meet this guy in a dark alley. It was really solid.
Yeah, I really believed everything you did, but the critique, you're welcome, good job. The critique I always go back to is I want more variety.
Yeah.
I definitely got, I haven't seen too much fairy tale, I mean, but I know Natsu's pretty playful, and obviously young and energetic, but I get that. So I need to hear just a little bit more, and it's so hard to tell you what that is.
Okay.
But like to Lucy after she's destroyed a building, that's a tough direction. But, and even Sick from the Carriage Ride, you can slow that down a little bit more, you know. Feel free to vomit. I mean, make some sounds. Take your time with it. Just give me a little bit of different colors, which is the worst direction. Make it more blue. Yeah, which is like the worst thing to say to somebody, because what does that mean? But go ahead and hit it again. Just take your time.
Only Lucy, then only...
No. I really was just saying, just try to make each little group a little bit different.
Okay.
That's terrible. How do I make that make more sense?
Well, you can still have energy without volume. You can still be, high pitched, good natured, and all that. But the volume, that's a different sort of thing.
Yeah.
It's like about to chase down Ayres.
Yes.
It's like, oh, you don't have to worry about that. I got a bone to pick of that jerk for messing with a fairy tale. I'm going to burn him to a crisp. I don't know, is he talking to someone in that scene? Because that depends on how loud you want to make it. If it's just to himself, it's like, I'm going to take him. That could be small and
To
intimate.
be introverted on that line, yeah, and introspective, really. Yeah, that's perfect. So try to get no pressure. Okay.
Oh, you don't have to worry about that. I've got a bone to pick with that jerk for messing with fairy tales.
Slow down.
Okay.
Slow down. I want to be able to hear each one of those words.
Oh, you don't have to worry about that.
Slow down your speed.
Oh, you don't have to worry about that.
Nice.
I've got a bone to pick with that
Keep it
jerk.
slow. Keep it. Let's go for menacing.
Oh, you don't have to worry about
Slow
that.
down your speed.
You don't have to worry about that. I've got a bone to pick with that jerk for messing with fairy tale. I'll burn him to a crisp.
Keep going.
Yeah, I like your style. Out with a bang. You're definitely gonna fit in with fairy tale. That's our friend you got there, pal. So that means you guys are gonna have to make plans for dinner. Other plans for dinner.
Try that one again.
Okay. So that means you guys are gonna have to make other plans for dinner. Can you please stop everything? Yeah, I really like a party plan. Burn, baby, burn! I'll blow you away, Friar Dragon!
Oh, okay, all right. I love that you did that. Whether it was right or wrong, who cares? You had fun with it. I did hear some differences. That was a really good job.
Oh, thanks, Jen.
You're welcome. Madison, you're awesome. Let's give it another hand. I think we're pretty much out of time, but I wanted to share one more thing with you guys. And Kyle and I have time. Yeah. Oh, and our mic monkey. Let's hear it for He would just be a cute little Aaron. Do you ever cosplay as Aaron? Okay, well, yeah. Is your first convention? Yeah, we're having fun. So I just want to tell a quick story. Is someone in here after this? Because I need to shut up if someone's in here. And I'm going to keep going until someone shuts me up. So I was recording a fighting game, and I was having trouble making sounds different because the direction was just grunt. I need a mid grunt. So that's like a mid damage, right? Something damaged in my mid drip. So, and they're like, no, make it shorter. Like, okay, make it longer. and they're like, it sounds the same. And I'm like, no, it doesn't. But there's no time to argue because you're on the clock and you really, and one of the Japanese producers was in the room and I was wicked nervous. Like I was like, please don't fire me. I love Japan. I was really nervous though, right? And so I was trying to figure out ways to hurt myself, but let me explain that. Because I just was having trouble. I mean, I think we all do at one point or another, and I was like, how do I make these sounds different? And I don't recommend this, but I'm just sharing it with you because it's like a twisted story and that's me. But, so I had one that was like an upper, sort of not face, but like an upper kind of a thing, and so I put my hand around my throat. And I was like being attacked, and I was like, and they were like, that's great, and I'm like, oh, that hurt, but I gotta do it again. And so I have actually like given myself a little bit of pain before in the studio. I'm suffer for your art. I don't recommend that because it's kind of stupid, but I did get some different sounds. I had to do like I had a kick to the kidney, and those hurt. If you ever had one, I did because my sister used to beat the crap out of me when I was little. And so, kick to the kidney, how does that sound? And I kind of hit my kidney, and I was like, oh, that doesn't feel good. So those tricks too are great. Just hurt yourself, and you'll get some really authentic fighting sounds. Don't really, but that's just a story I like to tell because I came out of the booth and my neck was red. And my kidneys hurt. Yeah, don't tell your parents I told you to hurt yourself. It's a little strange. Do you have any fun? Kyle has done so many games. Tell us a really fun story, Kyle. I know you have so many. Just whatever.
I don't know that it's fun, but you can't fake when you lose your voice. I had a screeny session for 2 hours solid with the actor Carl Weathers, who played Apollo Creed, the new movie Creed. That's about Creed's son from the Rocky films. His father, for a few years, was directing video games. So Red Faction Armageddon, I go in and I'm kind of geeking out because I knew him from Rocky, and I knew him from Predator and all this stuff. And he shakes my hand, he's very nice, and hands me an herbal lozenge. He's like, you're gonna need this. I'm like, oh, okay. It's like, you're gonna be a background mercenary military soldier. It's nothing but shout-outs and battlefield chatter, and I go, so I go in there, the very first line is, incoming! You remember what I said, 3 takes each? Yeah, it was rough, so yeah, my voice was shredded. Next morning, I still didn't have my voice.
Did you have to record the next morning?
Yep. I had a session as Kiba, who's much younger, and the voice is a little higher pitched, and Naruto, and I didn't sound all younger or higher pitched. It's like, they sent me home. They didn't replace me, thank God, but they said, you just go rest, we'll reschedule you. Yeah, so if you ever have the pleasure or displeasure of blowing your voice out at a video game session, hopefully they'll schedule you maybe on a Friday, so that your Saturday and Sunday can be spent drinking a lot of tea and honey and speaking. Right. Yeah, that's the thing. Other little tips that help. Don't have milk products like a shake or yogurt before a session. That milk creates phlegm. Thank you. Yes, indeed. Soda, bad thing to have before a session. Coffee, also a bad thing. They have all this stuff in the studio, which is very tempting and evil. It's like, would you like a donut? Like, no, let me gum up the works before I get behind the mic, because these mics are not like these. These are ones that cost thousands of dollars and can hear your food digesting and your blood flow, the pulse and everything. So if you do a one-cheek sneak, like you've got a fart, you can't really.
Yeah, I tried it and the mic caught it. I was so embarrassed. They're like, what was that? I was like, oh, I hit the microphone. Sorry, I was doing mouth exercises. They didn't know.
Yeah, when you shift positions, maybe there's a squeak on the floor or something. And they'll use that as audio blackmail against you. Then they get their computer startup sound. Like,
what I love is when they take like all of your outtakes or your screw-ups, and then the engineer will put them all together and just hit play, and you hear like, well, like, God, mother, oh, and it just like keeps going, and you get to hear all of your screw-ups. That's one of my favorite things that they do.
I like just hearing the fight reactions out of context because it sounds like an adult movie. And then you look over the shoulder and see them mixing. It's like, okay. And it doesn't matter, guy or girl. The fight sounds, you hear them out of context. You guys should just Google fight sounds if you're ever interested. Look on YouTube.
Or looking for new fat material, just, you know.
Well, yeah. Because, Japan.